Welcome to Learning English with Captain Binoy Varagil, Assistant Professor, Department of English, St. Joseph College, Devgiri, Calicut, Kerala. We are learning language and linguistics, and of that we are learning phonetics, and of course we are right now learning the description of vowels, and we saw the phonemes, the vowel phonemes the other day. And of course, today we have to continue our discussion of the description of vowels of English. And the other day, end of the lecture, we discussed, or rather we learned the fact that vowels are described on the articulatory dimensions of three things. Number one, the position of the lips. Number two, the part of the tongue that is raised. Number three, the height to which the tongue is raised. These are the important factors that decide the chief characteristic of a vowel, and of course our description of the vowels are based on these three important things, like the position of the lips. Based on the position of the lips, whether there is lip rounding or lip spread, lips in the spread position, we say that vowels are rounded or unrounded. Alright, that is number one, first factor of classifying the vowels. Number two, we can see that the tongue has different parts, and we would say which part of the tongue is used to articulate certain vowels, and based on that we will describe a vowel, that vowel is a front vowel or a central vowel or a back vowel. And we understand that the part of the tongue that is used, whether it is the front part of the tongue, whether it is the back part of the tongue, whether it is the center of the tongue, that is used to articulate a vowel sound. And based on these three positions of the tongue that is used for the articulation of the vowel sounds are described. And that is the second thing. Now we look at the third point. We have the height to which the tongue is raised. So the tongue in the mouth cavity can be just lifted up and down, and of course to different height positions. And the other day we learned the question, or rather the concept of the vowel limit, and we were discussing what is vowel limit, and we know that the vowel limit refers to the height to which the tongue is lifted. Alright, anyway, now our description of the vowels is based on a third factor, and that third factor is the height to which the tongue is lifted in the mouth cavity to produce, to articulate, to pronounce a sound. And based on the height of the tongue in the mouth cavity, we have different locations or positions in the mouth cavity. Say we have the first position, close position, like closed vowels. What are closed vowels? Closed vowels are also known as high vowels. And what could be a high vowel? A high vowel is a vowel in the pronunciation of which, in the articulation of which, the tongue is lifted to a high position in the oral cavity, a close position in the oral cavity. Okay, or rather we can say that in the case of the production of a vowel, a closed vowel or a high vowel, the tongue is lifted close to the roof of the mouth. Close to the roof of the mouth. Okay, so we have the roof of the mouth, and now we have of course the front part of the roof of the mouth, the center part of the roof of the mouth, the back part of the roof of the mouth. So a closed vowel is a vowel in the production of which the tongue is lifted to the roof of the mouth. Say like in E, like in the front sound E. We say that E is a sound which is a front, close, unrounded, long sound. That is the four-term. We have the four-term label for, the four-term label. We are giving a four-term label for each of the nouns, and we say that this sound E. Alright, E is, okay, number one, it is a front of the tongue is used, close, because the tongue is lifted to the roof of the mouth, and we say E. Alright, number three, it is of course an unrounded sound, right? It is unrounded because the tongue, we are not rounding the lips, right? It is lip rounding, so it is unrounded. All right, and number four, it is long. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, four-term labeling of the vowel sound, right? So we describe vowels based on the position of the lips, rounded or unrounded, part of the tongue that is used, front, central or back, and the height to which the tongue is lifted. We say a vowel is of course close or high, half close or mid-high, half open or mid-low, open or low. So these are the four levels of height in the mouth cavity that decide the description of vowel sounds. Alright, so we have different height levels. So some people say close vowels, some say of course the same thing in a different way with high. High and close are same thing, and that is about the vowel sounds articulated with the tongue at maximum height is close. Maximum height is of course high vowels, right? And now of course the mouth cavity, some vowels are articulated not at a very high location but slightly up above the half right, even above the half open position. And open position is of course right, at the tongue is at the bottom of the mouth cavity, the tongue is not lifted. Say in the case of one open vowel we have in the word car. Alright, we have the sound ah. Look at the vowel sound ah. It is ah, ah. So when we say ah, what happened is the tongue is extreme at the extreme bottom of the mouth cavity. We are not lifting, right? We are not lifting. Tongue is at the, and the cavity is open, or rather the tongue is at low position. Tongue is very low position, and hence we say that is, alright, an open vowel. It is an open vowel. So sometimes the tongue can be slightly lifted, and we say such vowels are half open or mid-low. Sometimes the tongue is even more lifted, and we can say that is of course a half closed vowel. So this way we describe the vowels. And now let us look at the all the rounded vowels of English, unrounded vowels of English. Alright, one by one. Okay, based on the position of the lips we have rounded vowels and of course unrounded vowels, and there are four rounded vowels in English. They are number one, oo, as in shoe, as in room, as in broom. Alright, that is oo, lip rounding, oo. Next rounded vowel is oo, as in pull, as in of course shook, oo, oo, oo. Lip, position of the lip rounding we have, oo, oo, oo. Next rounded vowel is the long sound O. Okay, we have the O, like in court, Lord, so. Alright, O. that is the third rounded, and we have only 4 rounded sounds in English, and that is of course the short O, like in O, pot, got, lot, dot, O. Alright, and the rest, all the other are unrounded. Of the 12, we can see that 8 are of course unrounded. Alright, so only 4 are rounded, the rest are unrounded. And now we will be just looking at the front vowels and of course the back and the central. So which are the front vowels, right? Which are the vowels which are articulated with the front of the tongue? There are 4 front vowels, and they are: number 1, E. E is one of the front vowels. Second one is the short E. Okay, E, the short E, and the third front vowel is A. All right, A. All right, and the fourth front vowel is A. It is A, as in cat, mat, bat, and all. Alright. Okay. So we have 4 front vowels: E, A, and A. Okay. And now we have the central vowel sounds, and there are 3 central vowel sounds. Okay. 3 central vowels. They are A as in up, A as in come, A as in bucket, A as in cupboard. Alright. The second one is the long central sound, like in girl, verb, world, earth. And the next is the weakest sound, that is of course as in a mound, a cross, a long, a bow, Alright, so we have seen the 4 front vowels, 3 central vowels, and of course we have the back vowels, vowel sounds which are articulated with the back of the tongue. In fact, there are 5 back vowels, and they are, look at the 5 back vowels. One is of course oo, the next is oo. Alright, next one is of course the short O, next one is long O, and the next one is the long back open sound, so we have 5 plus 3, 8 plus 4, 12 pure vowels, right? So we say that we can just conclude that all the 12 pure vowels can be classified into, of course, 3 groups based on the part of the tongue that is used. Front vowels 4, central vowels 3, and back vowels 5. Alright, and now we can just look at them once more. 4 front vowels: E, A. Central A, back O, A. Alright, and we also can just describe them based on the position, like, okay, which are the close sounds or which are the high sounds in the production of which the tongue is of course lifted maximum, and the close we would say, alright, number 1 is of course E. Alright, that is it. When we say E, the tongue is lifted maximum, right? Similarly, that is of course when we say E, the front of the tongue is lifted, but when we say oo, alright, oo, the back of the tongue is lifted. So front close, back close vowel, front close vowel, back close vowel. And now of course we look at the open sounds, right? Okay, that is of course some vowels articulated with the front of the tongue, of course at the open position. Alright, we don't have much in English. one, but back of the tongue at bottom, at the open position we have one, and that is of course the ah sound, right? Ah. Alright. Similarly, we can also find vowels at half closed position and half open position. Alright. So this is about the description of vowels. So vowels are described on the basis of three important factors and one minor factor. Alright. The three important factors are the position of lips, rounded or unrounded, the part of the tongue that is raised, front vowels, central vowels, back vowels, and the height to which the tongue is lifted, we say high or closed vowels, mid-high or half-closed vowels, low or open vowels, mid-low or half open vowels, right? And of course, based on the length required for the articulation, we say a vowel is long or short. So these are the four factors that decide the description of vowels. So next day we are discussing a very important topic, that is of course learning or describing the vowels of English with cardinal vowel diagram. And in that particular session we are discussing cardinal vowels as well. So please practice all this, learn all this and improve your English. Thank you so much for listening. May God bless you.